Imagine building a frozen empire where the sun doesn't rise for months and the weather is brutal. Thousands of miles from the football elite. Welcome to Tromsø. And this is where our story begins. Firstly, let's go over the rules for the save. We're going to be focusing Scandinavian signings only, make it a bit more challenging. Danish, Finnish, Icelandic, Norwegian, Swedish. Second nationality for them is fine. And we're going to focus on the youth, prioritising obviously academy and under 18 players. Try and keep one of them at least in the team. We'll make the Frozen Fortress try to get the unbeaten home record in the league. And then finally, we want to be reaching European competition by season 3. First things first, this is the squad where we're starting with. I thought we'd have a look pre-season 1 to see where the squad is. A squad of 19 players. And yeah, as you can see, mix of old and young. This guy, he's wanted by big clubs. He is going to be key to us this season. So yeah, so the squad. Hold on. This guy's 16 in the first team, and he's 4-star, 5-star potential. Boubacar Sedikinta, Gambian. Where's he come from? How did we end up with him? So he's come through our team. Oh, we've got a star, boys and girls. We've got a star. We need to build around these two lads. We're going to keep an eye on these two guys. Yeah, that is how we're going to set up. Well, that's the team. Sorry, not how we're going to set up. Yeah, and like I say, we need strikers. Them strikers don't fill me with much hope. Yeah, we'll take a look in a second at how we're going to set up tactically. All right, so this is how we are setting up. Going for a simple 4-2-3-1. Got the wing backs both on support. Set this one to cut inside with the ball. And I've set the winger here to stay wider and run wide with the ball. And this side, I've told him to stay wider. And he is just doing his normal, cut inside. Here, I've added this guy to roam from position so he can find space. Yeah, and then obviously we're going DLP, ball winner, ball playing centre back, which will probably be that young lad, a 16-year-old, and then just a regular centre back. So that's how simple. We've got balanced mentality in possession. We're just going narrow, shorter, slightly higher tempo. Basically, the only thing I've really changed is the attacking whip. Transition, taking it off counter press and put regroup, because we need to regroup, defend when we're in transition and losing the ball. Out of possession, moved us to a standard. It did have us on a lower, but left it at mid block. Everything here, other than I've added in invite crosses, everything else is just standard. Best 11 is obviously Antonson's not here, Christensen's not here. I imagine it'll probably be like Brought or someone out. Yeah, probably Brought up top. Yeah, and there's not much in the way of budget or anything. I'm gonna go do some transfers, get some staff in. Alright, something I forgot I was going to show you. Let's have a look in the dev center. I have got some players that we could potentially call up to the first team as well. So let's move all these up to the first team. Yeah, other than that, we don't really have massive amounts in the under 21s. Obviously, this guy's out on loan. Could have actually been quite useful. But we'll let them have their loan. The third team has no one in. 19s has these 3 in. Alright. So, yeah. Come back here a little bit earlier, just before the first game of the season. Yeah, we've done a little bit of transfer business. As you can see, we brought in 8-9 players. Our first was this guy. Brought in on loan from Norway. Basically going to probably play as our right winger quite a lot. But yeah, he's got good potential. I think we did put a clause in. Then we brought Victor back in because we needed a left back. So we didn't really have anyone for there. He's not too bad. We brought in this guy on loan, backup goalkeeper. Finish. Looks like he could end up being quite good. Wanted to. Shahid is someone that my director of football brought in just for the youth team. Borset, we paid 135,000 for. Another left back, young, but he's our own player, so he can hopefully develop over the season. Joachim Berg Nundau spent 300,000 on. Biggest signing, as you can see, striker, right winger, left winger. Quite a good forward for us, I think, going forward. No pun intended there. Sander Royce Larson, he's another one that's in our youth setup that our director of football brought in. Bit of potential. And then this one was also a director of football one. Again, he's in our under-19s. He's not so good. Nothing on the outs. This is the caliber of manager we've been going up against. As you can see, Snowstorms. Our only defeat came to Rosen. Obviously one of the big guns. Narrow 1-0 defeat away from home. Then comes the midpoint of the season. As you can see, 3 games we didn't win there. Started it with a draw. And then losing to Odd. But the big defeat was losing to our fierce rivals, Bodo Glimt. 3-1. Luckily at their ground. That is how we sort of rolled in mid part of the season. Yeah. Just kept on steamrolling teams. I don't know what it was. 5-1 against Viking, 4-2 against Fredrikstad, 3-0 against Oslo, 4-2 against Haugesund, 5-0 against Strømsgodset. Kept on steamrolling teams. I don't know what it was. And then as we got to the back end of the season, the final sort of 10 games started to get a bit tighter in games. As you can see, a couple of draws in there with Rosenborg and Molde. But then came the defeat against Viking. A 3-2 defeat. But that was at a key time. I was thinking, just before we played Bodo Glimt in our second derby of the season, that was key. But no, I thought that might have been derailed us a little bit. No, we were welcomed Bodo Glimt to our stadium, and thanks to Lars Olden Larsen, with this goal, we beat them. And more importantly, far more importantly than that, it was our penultimate home game. Then obviously we beat Fredrikstad and we drew at home. So we went undefeated at home, folks. Undefeated. That checks off one of our goals of turning our home stadium into a fortress. Now, can we build upon that? Okay, having won the league in our first season, totally unexpected. I was thinking we were going to finish mid-table, 8th, 9th, 10th, somewhere around there. For us to go and win the league by 7 points, winning our first ever Eliteserien. But anyway, that was season 1 in the Arctic. A mix of hilarious moments, getting knocked out of the cup in the first round by a third tier team, to complete an utter madness where we were just dominant at home, unbeatable, which is what got us to where we are. What can we do next season? Can we actually qualify properly for the Champions League? Because obviously this only puts us in at this second qualifying round. Could we even do something more special? Could we go on and even win the Champions League early? Nah, that's never going to happen. But we've ticked off 2 of our marks early. But if you've enjoyed the ride so far, make sure you drop a like and hit subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you in Season 2. Trust me, it only gets colder from here.